Hi, it's Whitney from WhitneyLauritsen.com, and welcome back to EVG Venture, the channel where I talk about my experiences and lessons learned through being an online entrepreneur in hopes they will help inspire you and educate you so that you can do exactly what you love in life. Spend your time however you want to spend it. And today's topic is something that I got inspired by through Twitter. So the power of social media, I really recommend first and foremost that you follow other entrepreneurs and motivational accounts on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Just make sure that your news feeds on all the social medias networks that you're on are just overflowing with inspiration and information to keep you feeling motivated. I find it so helpful when I open up Instagram, for example, and I see inspirational quotes about business. I follow a ton of motivation business entrepreneurial accounts on there. Makes such a difference, especially when they're in between all the other things that I follow. And likewise on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, it just helps me keep going. And especially when things might be a little tough or you're looking for inspiration or you don't know what you're looking for, just having it there is helpful. So I saw this great tweet today from a man named Anthony Szilard. I'm actually not really familiar with him. I don't even know why I'm following him. Let's see what his profile says. He's a best-selling author, keynote speaker, and president of the Global Leadership Institute. So it makes sense. And his tweet says, "Our feelings of failure generate even greater feelings of low self-esteem that diminish our capacity to succeed." So when we focus so much on failing and being upset about failing, it diminishes our capacity to succeed. And I feel like this is such an important topic from entrepreneurs because many people that I meet are just obsessed with succeeding. They're obsessed with perfection. They're perfectionists and they want everything to be just right. And I think that's really great to an extent, but I also see how much it gets in people's way. I also see how it gets in my own way. I often put so much pressure on myself to be perfect, to do everything just right, and I'm so scared of failing. But this fear of failure, and then oftentimes when we imagine that we failed, or even when we just frankly do fail, if we let that stop us, if we let that affect our self-esteem, that is what gets in the way of success. And it's not, so basically he is saying here that it's not actually the failure that gets in the way of success, it's the feelings of failure and that low self-esteem that comes along with it. So he actually linked to a blog post he wrote about this, and there were so many gems in this, I just had to read most of this post to you. It's really short. So he starts off with a quote that says, "Smooth seas do not make skillful sailors." Boy, is that true. I feel like it is so important to be grateful for failure, for trouble, for challenges, for obstacles, because that makes us really good at what we do. Somebody asked me the other day how I became knowledgeable about business and why I come across so confident. And I told her that it's just because of experience. It's just because over time, I learn through all sorts of conversations. I learn by saying things wrong. I learn by doing things wrong. I don't always like to use the word wrong because I feel like it's kind of negative. But when I do something that doesn't have the results that I want, I learn from it and I get stronger. So that's really how most of my confidence has developed. That's where most of my knowledge has come from. So back to this blog post here. He starts off by saying, "Many venture capital firms are actually more likely to invest in an entrepreneur who has already failed in a prior business effort, as long as the entrepreneur can demonstrate how he or she has learned from it." Isn't that interesting? I think that is such a great way to start off this post here, because he's pointing out that just because you have failed doesn't mean that people won't be interested in you or want to give you money. I think that's where a lot of this fear of failure comes in, is we're afraid to look bad. We're afraid that people aren't going to trust us if we fail. That's kind of this big mythology that goes on in our heads and in a lot of people's heads. So society kind of has that collective fear of failure. But he is actually saying that venture capital firms are looking for those people who have that experience. So he says, why? The entrepreneur has experienced the learning curve that only failure generates. Amazing. I love this topic. It's my experience that the most successful leaders all have one thing in common. They fail wisely. Wow. So he uses the example of Steve Jobs, who was working with Pixar, or he was building Pixar, actually. And he was also fired from Apple. Some people don't know this. If you haven't read his, the biography the biography about him, it's absolutely fantastic. I'll link to it down below, just in case you're brand new to it. It's a thick read, but a really fantastic read. Lots of insight into business there. Anyway, so coming back to that, he said, Steve Jobs said that being fired from Apple freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again. Wow, I mean, that's so amazing. So I feel like that is such a gem there, because if you're doing really well and everything's going great, you start to kind of forget what you have to do as a beginner. But those beginning stages are often where we are very inspired, where we're the most motivated, where we're trying all sorts of new things. So sometimes being forced to start back at square one is so helpful for us. As adults, we brood over our failures, which is precisely what keeps us failing over and over again. Our feelings of failure generate even greater feelings of low self-esteem that diminish our capacity to succeed, like he said in that quote. The next time you have a thought such as, I'm a failure, or look, there I go, messing up again, mentally re-engineer your negative thought by instead asking yourself the questions, how can I fail wisely? And what must I learn from this experience to help me more effectively reach my goals? Apply the inner wisdom that emanates from your responses to move more assuredly forward with the new skills and learning you've picked up along the way towards your goals. Fantastic. I'll link to this blog post and I'll link to his Twitter account so you can check out Anthony. He's got a new fan in me because this is so wise. And this is actually a post from 2011. So another little wise tip here is he recycled some old content. That's such a great little side note here, is that you can keep posting things on social media even if you created them years and years ago, because there might be people like me who have never seen them before. Amazing. So much to learn from here. I hope this inspired you, gave you some ideas. Don't be afraid to fail. Keep building your self-esteem, because that's ultimately what brings you so much towards success. And be grateful when you do fail, because you have an opportunity to learn so many lessons. Thank you so much for watching today. Quick note for you. I just opened up the Pick My Brain sessions, talked about that a few videos ago, but they're now on the calendar as of today, which is May 6th, 2015. So I'll leave a link down below if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about here. I do these group sessions where you and up to 4 other people, so 5 people total, do virtual sessions, and we talk about all different aspects of business. So right now I have topics like web and blog basics, so all the different things that you need to really create a successful website and blog. YouTube basics as well. So if you want to be on YouTube, or you're already on YouTube and you want to know how to optimize it so you get more views, more subscribers, and start to make money from it, going to explore all of that. Podcasting. I'm so passionate about podcasting right now. So if you want to jump into the podcasting world, let me save you the trouble of all the research and trial and error. I have navigated through so much of it, and I would love to pass on that knowledge and experience onto you. So many topics here. I also have a great one about monetization, and one that's very perfect for this very video, which is about developing confidence and self-esteem, which actually I recommend for everybody. I think that's a great first session to take with me because I am so passionate about helping people become more confident and develop their self-esteem. And those are just a few examples of what I'm offering. So go check it out. You can go to whitneylauritsen.com and just click on the group sessions. You'll see the calendar. I have sessions scheduled for May 2015 and June, and I'll have more coming up in the future, but that's what I have right now. If you purchase 5 or 10 sessions, you'll get a bundled discount, so you can save some money there. And I also do one-on-one customized sessions to you. I'll do those anytime, but you can definitely save money and actually learn a lot through doing the group sessions, so I encourage you to check those out. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this inspirational, educational, give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time watching one of these videos, please subscribe to this channel for all sorts of inspiration and education about running online businesses. I would love to connect with you further. So whether you leave a comment or you want to connect with me privately through email, you can reach me at info@ecovegangal.com. I'll probably have a different email address specifically to the Whitney Lauritsen domain name soon. But for now, as of the time of this video, the info@ecovegangal.com is the best one to use. And I would love to connect with you on social media. I have the links to all the platforms right down below. That's where I spend my time throughout the whole day. So you can tweet me, Instagram me, Facebook me, Snapchat me. And that will also get you more engaged on social media. You can see how I work and I can see how you work, and we can just have that back and forth conversation and hold each other accountable. I will see you next time for the next video. And until then, all the best to you for doing what you love and making the most out of life with the time that you have. Go for your dreams, go for your goals. You can reach them. See you later.